Guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Callie Glam. I teach makeup, girly editing, and photography. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Callie, your Africa's #1 most skillful makeup and girly trainer. Alright, if you are new here, I welcome you back again to this channel. Alright, today I'll be showing you how to do this look, and here we go. So the first thing is, don't forget to always do a deep cleansing with the use of your micellar water to clean the face. And for this look, I want a kind of a dewy look, so I am applying my face oil. I don't want something too extra matte. I'm not really a fan of the too much of matte look anyways. So and here we go. I am applying my face oil here. So sorry, I already applied my Meron, which is the sweat block. I already applied my sweat block before I started this video. Alright, so I'm now going to my moisturizer. This is a silicone based moisturizer from Rimmel. And can you see the effect of the moisturizer? So after the moisturizer, some part of this video was skipped because of light issue and all that. My light was not giving me more then I still decided to go ahead with this video. Sorry for that. Alright, so I applied my primer. I set the face, I fixed the whole face, alright, which is the lock-in with my Mary Badescu. And after that, I go into my foundation. Now if you look at the skin, you realize that she has a good skin to an extent, and so I don't really do much on trying to get my foundation match and all that. I just pick a foundation that has a yellow undertone with a bit of red undertone and go straight into her skin. So now I am doing my contour. Now for your contour, the perfect way to contour is, the tiny part of that hair, there's a little flesh like this at the part of the hair. So your contour goes from that straight down if the person is pouting. Alright, so and after that I go into my blush, which is coming on top. And one thing that takes most of my time during makeup is my blending. Alright, I don't really take much time to look about blending. Blending takes my time more than almost every other thing. Alright, even for my brows, I don't take time when I'm doing my brows. When it comes to blending, I take time to blend. Alright, so and after this I go into my concealer. I'm using Adventure concealer. Alright, and make sure you don't over blend when you are blending your concealer. Alright, when you blend it too much, it fits it back into the skin, and no matter how light the concealer you choose, no matter how light is it will over blend. Just make sure you don't over blend your concealer too much to the skin. And you can see that I'm using a bit of darker shade at the side so that it can it can match well with the skin, and so that I don't go over the light too much of lightness. So here I am blending the under eye area, and you have to be careful with the blush so that concealer you actually don't need too much of concealer because I've seen people taking a lot of concealer on the face and all that. Can you see my concealer? Even with this, you can still clearly define my highlights from my contour to my blush. Right, so now I really want you to be careful when it comes to using of your concealer. You don't you don't apply too much of concealer. Alright, so after this I am contouring here, and this is the perfect way to contour. Okay, you start from that side of the bridge straight up to the brows, and I'm just giving this effect of the nose ball contour, so that I had to add a bit of contour and my blush there. So after that, you can see that I've already set the whole face with my powder. Alright, so because I don't want to leave it too creamy, even though I still want to achieve a dewy look, but when you apply your concealer on the under eye, on the brow bone and all that, make sure you don't leave it creamy. Okay, so dab powder into it. Now I am setting the face with Glam Girl's setting powder. Actually, you see this setting, of a thing. I sincerely don't really want to start using too much of a setting powder on the face again, because I realize that it doesn't change anything per se. But most people still do it for video sake, which is what I actually did. One layer of your setting powder is actually fine. Just one layer is actually fine. But for the sake of video, you have to give people what they want. So here I already use my Dammel Bro tint to make my brow sleep, and I am using my Davis pencil here. For pencil, I actually realized that I can actually do the hair thing when it comes to my pencil. I've used a lot of pencil. I've used quite a lot of different brands, expensive ones, and I realized that these things bounce back to application. Alright, you can be using a 10k pencil, and if you don't know how to apply it, just as well as other products, the person that can actually use Davis or 500 naira will do better and far more than you do. Alright, so application is a very it's important as what you are using. Alright, so I'm using my Davis pencil here, and for my pencil I don't really overshade. I don't shade too much because I don't want too many dark brows and all that. You can see I'm just using the side of my pencil, then use my wand, and I go into highlights. I don't do too much. I don't overdo. Now for your concealer, make sure you don't cake too much of concealer, most especially for the upper part of the brows. Alright, don't overcake your concealer. Alright, even sometimes I do without highlighting the upper part of my brows. A lot of times, so the lower part is the most important thing for me, which I will always do. But the upper part, once you've drawn your pencil very well, I don't really see the sense of me highlighting the upper part. Alright, so if I need to highlight the upper part, I just do just a little sketch. Alright, because I don't want concealer on that part. You understand? So here we go. Alright, I'm still on setting the, can you see now, this is the upper part. Just a little sketch, nothing too serious like that. Alright, and when you apply it, after applying your concealer on the brow bone, I use the tip of my finger to blend it out so that I don't have a nice line. And like I said, always make sure that you set your concealer with powder. Alright, either under the eye or your brow bone. Don't leave it creamy. Alright, so before I start my shadow, I have to contour the inner and the outer part of the inner and the outer corners of the eyes to give it this dark effect and all that. Alright, then I go into my primer. My primer is for VNG, and see, for primer, use less primer, please. Like I'm begging you, use less primer. The more your primer, the more, or the tendency your eyeshadow breaks. The more just use less primer. All right, and make sure you blend it out. The more the primer, the high chance of the more the chance of English. The more your eyeshadow has tendency to break out. All right, and it's not even going to pop your shadow when you use too much of primer. So just a little primer, and at the same time you have to understand the primer you're using. There are some primer that dries easily, so when you are using a primer like this, just know that it's not the best time for you to start discussing and talking to somebody and all that. So understand your product, understand how your product works. Okay, now I go in, you see my eyeshadow. Now I go into the under the eye. I'm doing the under the eye using my liner. I go into my shadow, and now here we go. Now I don't really like to dust this off. I mean the setting powder. I don't dust my setting powder, so I press it back into the skin. I press it back into the skin. All right. So for the lip now, I think I wanted to do one lip before the wedding. I had to change it and all that. Okay. And recently I think I've been doing more full lip. So I think that I'm still trying to do here. Lining the lip a bit with a transition color of lipstick. Then after that, I picked my brow gel, and I had to, you know, mix it with the lipstick so that I can have more like a darker effect. Can you see we have more darker, with something like a burgundy shade now? All right, then I go into my Callie lip palette and use my lipstick here. All right, so can you see what we have? Once again, I mixed my brow gel. Which is from Nesta. I mix it with like a wine lip color to line the lip. Then I picked this white shade from my Callie lip palette, and that's what I came up with. So this is the under eye. This is my mascara from Mega Impact. All right, so I feel like doing this this cut effect, so I have to do that. And now let me give you this. When you are doing this cut effect, and when you want to line it out, I go in a shade lighter than a skin color. All right, to highlight it, because I want that part to just come out a bit brighter than, it's just giving more, more flashy look, if that's what you want. Okay, so I always cut that part with my concealer using one shade lighter than the skin color. So after this, I go into pigment. I just tap into pigment to it, and that is what we